Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Scott Johnson. I am the Eastern Province Guide Right Chairman and the National Kappa League Debate Challenge Centennial Edition Chairman. Today we have competing Alexandria Fairfax Alumni Chapter Kappa League versus Decatur Alumni Chapter Kappa League from Decatur, Georgia. The topic for today that will be debated will be high school athletes should be able to earn money from their NIL, which stands for name, image, and likeness. Our moderator and facilitator for today will be Brother Kendrick Crawford. And at this time, I will turn it over to Brother Crawford.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the National Kappa League Debate, the Centennial Edition. I am Brother Kendrick Crawford. I will be your narrator today, acting as a co-chair in the program. As Brother Johnson said, we are debating today with Alexandria Fairfax Alumni Chapter, as well as Decatur, Georgia Alumni Chapter. Alexandria Fairfax is the affirmative and Decatur will be the negative. Being that I am the moderator, we will have three various rounds within the debate. So the criterion will be the opening statements. We'll also have the rebuttals, and then we'll go into our closing arguments and statements from both sides. So let's confirm that both teams are ready and aware of their statuses today. Alexandria Fairfax, are you available and ready to debate? Alexandria Fairfax, are you ready to debate?
Oh, sorry, we're on mute. Can you hear us now? Can you hear us? You got mic check?
We can hear you, yes.
Okay, all right. Well, let's make sure we got this straight right here. Hold on. We're still tracking?
We're tracking.
Mic check, we're still tracking?
Yes.
Okay, all right, yes, we're ready then.
Okay, thank you. Decatur, are you ready to debate?
Yes.
All right, let's get started, everyone. Sound check seems to be fine. We'll start with the affirmative case. The affirmative side is Alexandria Fairfax. Who will be giving the opening statement for Alexandria Fairfax today?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Samson Boyd will be giving the opening statement for Alexandria Fairfax today.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Boyd. You will have 5 minutes to present your opening case and statement. Your time will start on me. I will give you the total 5 minutes. At the end of your presentation, if there's time left over, please yield your time back. You will have 5 minutes to start your opening statement. Your time will start now.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. My name is Samson Boyd, and I am a freshman at South County High School in Lorton, Virginia, and I represent the Alexandria Fairfax Kappa League. We are here today to argue for the position that high school athletes should be able to earn money from their name, image, and/or likeness. But before we begin our argument, we would like to familiarize the audience with a few points. Throughout this debate, you will hear the term NIL. NIL stands for name, image, and likeness. And in short, this debate is about high school athletes earning money from their NIL. The audience should take care to note that NIL does not include being paid to play for a sport, but rather earning money from monetizing social media accounts, signing autographs, teaching camps or lessons, starting their own business, or participating in advertising campaigns, and many other potential ventures. It will also be helpful to note that NIL regulations, where they exist for high school athletes, only govern public high school leagues. There are other leagues out there, such as AAU and private schools, as we'll discuss later, where high school students can compete and are not governed by NIL regulations. Now, to begin our argument, we would like to make and expound on 3 points. First, prohibiting NIL profits push high school athletes to other options which act adversely to traditional high school matriculation. Second, prohibiting NIL profits will disproportionately incentivize other leagues, which will kill public high school sports as we know it. And thirdly, low-income athletes and people of color who stand to lose the most from continued prohibition of NIL profits. To our first point, please understand that while 29 states have addressed the topic with some form of legislator, it is not illegal in any state for a high school athlete to make money from the NIL. For the states that prohibit NIL, students will simply lose their amateur status. Basically, this means that high school students will choose alternatives to traditional high school matriculation. Take the case of Quinn Ewers, a Texas high school quarterback who in 2021 opted to forego his senior year of high school and enroll in Ohio State University so that he could keep his $1.4 million NIL deal. You've probably heard of LaMelo Ball as well, who left high school altogether so he could entertain profits from his NIL. USAFacts.org notes a gradual decrease in high school dropout rates over the last 10 years, landing on the wrong side of this decision will unquestionably increase these numbers. Our second point is that public high school athletics will suffer dramatically as a result of NIL prohibitions. For this point, we would like to introduce you to Mikey Williams, a 17-year-old North Carolina high school basketball phenom. Mikey has already signed a multi-million-dollar deal with Puma, which the North Carolina High School Athletics Association prohibits. Mikey is not subject to this prohibition, however, because he plays for a private academy, which operates outside of the state's athletic association. Mikey's case is proof that high school associations will not have the jurisdiction to uphold these ridiculous prohibitions, and the private schools are going to reap all the benefits. To our third point, there's an elephant in the room. Much of what's to gain from NIL is speculations as these arguments are unfolding in courtrooms, even as we speak. What we can tell you as a fact, though, is that two of the highest grossing athletics association in the country, the NBA and the NFL, are dominated by athletes of color, with the NFL comprised of 73% and in the NBA clocking in at 83% of athletes of color. This demographic proves that if the top sports at the top levels are overwhelmingly minority players, then the top athletes for those top sports at the high school level must also be minority. NIL prohibitions at the high school level are overwhelmingly aimed at minority families, and while it may be taking a step too far to say they are designed to do so, NIL prohibitions will certainly help to keep the minority as a minority when it comes to income. We yield back the rest of our time.
Thank you. Your time was yielded back at 5 minutes. Thanks for the presentation. We will now have our opening statements from the Decatur Alumni Chapter. They are the negative side. Decatur,
sorry, Mr.
are you ready to
Moderator.
present your opening statements?
Mr. Rodmater, I saw a text that the delay in the speech is distracting. Do we think that's an issue with the opening statement, opening argument?
Alexandria Fairfax, that's because we're recording live as well as having the screen on the Zoom. So it's still being presented properly. All the content is definitely coming over properly as well. So there's not an issue.
Okay, thank you.
Decatur Alumni Chapter, are you ready for your opening statements?
Yes.
Okay. You will have a total of 5 minutes to present your opening statements. Your time will start on me.
Brother Moderator, if I may, it should be 3-minute questions.
You're right. 3-minute questions. Thank you, Brother Johnson. We will have 3-minute questionings for Alexandria Fairfax. Sorry about that. You have 3 minutes to start, Decatur. Your time will start now. So Brother Scott. Brother Scott Johnson.
Good morning.
Yes.
It means I'll be asking.
Hold on before you present, young man. 1 minute before you start presenting. So I think we are having a bigger delay than normal in terms of our audio. Is that something that you're also still seeing?
I'm not seeing it on my end.
There is no delay. If they're using the Zoom, there is no delay. There is no delay. It's the same as it's been all week. So everything is it's not delayed. If you're looking at the YouTube, if you're looking at YouTube or Facebook, then yes, there's a delay. But if you're on Zoom with everyone else, there is no delay. We hear audio as it's been spoken.
Got it. Thank you. Alexandria Fairfax. With that being said, just for the clarification for both sides, I will restart the 3 minutes now to start questioning for Decatur Alumni Chapter. All right, Decatur, you have 3 minutes for questioning and your time will start now.
Good morning. My name is James. I'll be asking the questions for the K Alumni. My first question is, how do you determine which high schools should get paid? Meaning, how do you determine the fairness of which schools get paid and how much?
Earning money off your NIL isn't a direct payment for playing. It's endorsement deals that are given out by companies or money that you can make off YouTube. So it isn't a distribution of money. It's how the athlete goes out and earns their own money.
Question. Not all sports will be in demand, thus leaving some students out. Which sports should students get paid for?
Again, that isn't how earning money off your NIL works. You don't get paid by an association, you get paid by a company. So if a sport is left out, then that's not an association's fault, that's a company and the players.
According to the Athletic Business article, do NIL changes affect high school athletes? All students are not created equal. How then do you protect schools from elitism?
Can you repeat that last part?
How do you protect schools from elitism?
You're right, all athletes aren't created equal, but again, it's a business deal between companies and athletes. No one, in fact, is created equal. So to say that is to say no one should be able to make money off deals with companies.
What empirical evidence do you have that this would work for high school students? Not college, but high school.
Mikey Williams, LaMelo Ball. There are athletes out there that are already making money off their NIL. And the fact that people have had to actually give up deals already because they don't want to lose their status shows that there's opportunities out there for high school athletes. It's just the prohibition that's keeping them from chasing it.
Okay. Education is key. Education is key. Due to high school students getting paid, how do you protect a student from forcing on his or her education and dropping out?
3 minutes.
Dropping out of school.
That is 3 minutes. Your time is up for questioning. Again, that is 3 minutes. Thank you for your questions. We will now move over to the next round of presentation for opening statements, which will be the negative that will come from Decatur Alumni Chapter, who will be presenting the negative opening statements for Decatur.
I will.
What's your name, young man?
John Green.
Mr. Green, good afternoon. You will have a total of 5 minutes to present your opening case, which is the negative side. Please speak into your mic directly. Your time will start on me And your time will start now.
Good evening. We would like to introduce the negative side of the argument regarding name, image, and likeness. Before starting, we want to thank our judges and coaches for allowing us to get to this point. High school athletes should not receive money based on their name, image, and likeness for three main reasons. Contention one is the fact that money can influence how one player may not focus on the success of the team, but furthering their own influence in the sports industry. Contention two is how ableism and fairness may rise when those not physically gifted try to share their story. Finally, moving on to the third contention of our argument, athletes would not focus on their art or on their education as much as before due to the fact that their lives may well be fully set up after high school. But the information that they could have gained in those short 4 years could be the make or break point in a career after retirement. We will now expand our reasoning behind the faltering of teamwork and NIL payments. In high school and amateur settings, many of the players may not be there to go pro, but have a good time instead. When an individual can make money, the focus of the player can change from what can we do to win to what can I do to win. This means that the athlete may disregard there's no I in team and adopt the new term, there's a me in team. Those who play for the passion and not as a future career option should have an entitlement to playing on a united team, especially in amateur sports. According to Oxford Languages, the term amateur means engaged in without payment, non-professional. Many people on a team may not like a ball hog or a sore loser and find them to be unsportsmanlike. According to Arthur Ashe, a professional tennis player, success is a journey, not a destination. This quote implies that it takes time to become a professional athlete, time that most high school students do not really have time for, time that could be better spent on their education or merely enjoying the game. Our next point is fairness. In a multitude of playing locations, the lack of money to go around makes this idea not likely. According to the article, many states in the southern part of the U.S., particularly the southeastern province, have laws stating players cannot be paid to play amateur sports. Ableism is another problem. Many players in basketball, football, etc., may not be physically gifted to achieve greatness in their sports. The people without the jump height or the wingspan or the body weight might struggle to gain support and be discouraged to not continue their grind to improve the skills. These are young people just beginning in a very competitive world. Their efforts and hard work should not be so easily disheartened. The society has a way of humiliating people, those who are not the direct appeal to the need at the time. Adding another way for one to prove a disabled player inferior does not seem to be the most ethical decision. Finally, the final topic of our discussion is education. With the higher probability of a stable career ahead of them, athletes might lose their drive and focus to succeed in school. While a student may never go to college and just barely skate by in high school, in the years after retirement from a sport, the player may wish to change their course and further their education. But with a weak academic background, this may be an unachievable task. We will now yield the rest of our time.
Thank you. You have yielded your time back at 3:19:87. Again, you've yielded your time back at 3:19:87. We will now move into questioning from Alexandria Fairfax for the Decatur Alumni Chapter. We'll be presenting the questions for Alexandria Fairfax.
Matthew Trimble will be presenting questions for Alexandria Fairfax.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Trimble.
Good afternoon.
You will have a total of 3 minutes for questions. Your time will start on me. Your time will start now.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I'm Matthew Trimble, and I attend Flint Hill School in Oakton, Virginia. My first question. Teen actors are able to star in movies and TV shows and get paid for being in them, correct?
Yes.
Even though they star in those movies, they will get to go to high school without any impact on the school or the person, yes?
Yes.
So if high school actors can get paid and still attend high school, then what is the difference with high school athletes?
A high school athlete will be more likely to change the way they act, because if they're getting paid in high school for sports, they're going to be more encouraged to be in a mindset that they can maybe possibly make it to a professional league where they can play sports such as the NBA, NFL, MLB, where they could be paid for that in a similar fashion. So when they're being paid off their NIL, it might have a different impact.
Would you say your team has done a lot of research on this topic?
I'd say we did a fairly good amount of research.
Did you find any extracurricular activities other than athletics that prohibited earning money from NIL?
No.
Neither do we. Do you or any of your friends play sports at your school?
Yes.
Did you realize that even though your governor signed House Bill 617 last year, which allowed athletes in Georgia colleges to profit from their NIL, the Georgia High School Association remains unchanged, especially its bylaw, section 1.92, paragraph C, which states, capitalizing on athletic fame by receiving money or gifts with monetary value except college scholarships forfeits your amateur status. I'm sorry, I know it was long, but that was a question. Did you realize that as a high school athlete, taking a free milkshake from your local Chick-fil-A because you scored the game-winning basket will forfeit your amateur status?
No.
Nothing further, Mr. Moderator.
All right, your time was yielded back at 2:23:22. That time was yielded back at 2:23:22. So we're going to move into our first breakout rooms. The first breakout room will be a total of 3 minutes. The first breakout room will be a total of 3 minutes. The breakout room time will start with me. Give me 1 second here. Just validate. All right, Mr. Media, we can start our breakout rooms of 3 minutes now.
Wiley College, founded in 1873 in Marshall, Texas, is a historically Black, primarily liberal arts, residential, co-educational, baccalaureate degree-granting institution affiliated with the United Methodist Church. For over 147 years, Wiley has offered educational opportunities to the citizens of Texas, the nation, and the world. Our spirit remains vibrant in the face of remarkable social change, global terrorism, economic strife, and adversity. We are scholars, debaters, activists, athletes, vocalists, but above all, we are leaders. The beacon light that is Wiley College will shine forth for generations to come. The insightful vision of years past that made Wiley College a preeminent Black college in the South is alive and well. Share your knowledge and skills. Don't keep them to yourself. Challenge yourself and your peers on a daily basis. Embrace one another's passion for the social good, leadership, education, communities, policies, and practice. Absorb everything, and above all, have fun. We welcome you to Wiley College. Go forth, inspire, glorious deeds to do.
League debate. Today, we have Alexandria Fairfax debating versus Decatur, Georgia Alumni Chapter. We're now going to move into our second round of debate, which will be the rebuttal round. Alexandria Fairfax, are you back from your breakout rooms? If you're speaking,
Yes, Mr.
Alexandria
Moderator.
Fairfax, you're on mute. Okay,
Yes, Mr. Moderator, we're back from the breakout room.
thank you. Decatur Alumni, are you back from your breakout rooms?
Decatur's on mute.
We're back.
All right, thanks for the confirmation. The rebuttal round will start with the affirmative side, which is Alexandria Fairfax. Alexandria Fairfax, who will be presenting your rebuttal.
Mr. Moderator, Eli Boyd will be presenting our rebuttal for Alexandria Fairfax.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Boyd. You will have a total of 5 minutes to present your rebuttal. Your time will start on me, and your time will start now.
Hello, my name is Eli Boyd. I'm a junior at South County High School in Lauren, Virginia. The age of dumb jocks has passed. Athletes and their families are now more prepared to handle wealth than they have ever been. And just a reminder to our audience that today's topic is not on whether high school athletes should earn money on their athletic capabilities, but on if high school athletes should be able to profit off their name, image, and likeness. For those that believe that no one is profiting from high school sports, we would like to cite a current court case, Stewart versus Florida High School Athletic Association, Incorporated, where it was discovered that the Florida High School Athletics Association made $5.4 million during the 2020 school year. This means that the only appreciable difference between the NCAA and the high school is the amount of money that is made off of athletics. Then again, if you add Florida's profits to that of those of the other 49 states, we might be on equal ground. Earlier, we asked a question about high school actors making money, which they can do without jeopardizing their ability to act in the high school play. The area becomes gray, however, when you look at Sear Wright, who, as a high schooler in 2019, became one of the nation's most sought-after cornerbacks. Sear had been modeling and acting since the age of 5 and was good enough to land a starring role in Space Jam 2. Lucky for Sear, his home state of California allows high school NIL. Otherwise, he'd have to make a tough decision. It's difficult for me to understand how the NCAA has already allowed profiting from NIL. Yet at the high school level, we're still having this conversation. This basically means that students could lose his or her or their eligibility to play at a level that already allows it. Earlier, our opponents mentioned that there is no I in team, and that as soon as money is involved, players will become selfish and shift their focus from the team to their self. And to this, I say that this applies to all levels. And if it works at a college level, and it does, then it can work at the high school level. If they don't work as a team, they won't win as a team, and no one makes money. I yield back the remainder of my time.
Thank you for your presentation and rebuttal. Your time was yielded back at 2:43 even. Your time was yielded back at 2:43. We will now move into our next breakout room. That will be for a total of 3 minutes. for both teams. After the breakout rooms, we'll have the rebuttal from the negative side, Decatur Alumni Chapter. We'll have a total of 3 minutes for the breakout rooms, and that time will start now.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Communications Professor Ernest Mack, a proud 16 initiative Kappa Alpha Phi, and the Director of Friends of the Wiley College Graduators. I'm here today to recruit the next generation of leaders. My program has scholarship opportunities for all active members and would love for you to be a part of the historic team. If you have a passion for public speaking, interest in debate or advocacy, comfort with memorizing and delivering facts, or performative artistry background, you are welcome and encouraged to apply. Also, if you know any advisor, teacher, or student that can use this information, please feel free to send along my email posted in the chat box. For the sake of the viewing audience, I'll share it one time verbally. That's emac@wileyc.edu. Thank you for your time.
Welcome back to the National Kappa League Debate, the Centennial Edition. We're going to move into our next round, which is the rebuttal from the negative side. Once again, the negative side is Decatur, Georgia Alumni Chapter. Are both teams back from the breakout rooms?
Decatur is back.
Thank you.
Alexandria Fairfax back.
Thank you. Decatur, who will be presenting a rebuttal today?
John Green, I will.
Mr. Green, good afternoon. Once again, you will have a total of 5 minutes to present your case from a rebuttal standpoint. Your time will start on me and only me. Your time will start now. Mr. Green, your
If
time is.
I were in Hello?
Can you hear Mr. Green?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, are you having technical difficulties?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Let's clarify what's going on. Are you having difficulties on your side?
I don't know. I was talking, but I don't know. Alexandria Fairfax just said they cannot hear, so.
Okay, give us 1 second. Let's see what's going on. Alexander Fairfax, can you now hear?
Sorry, yes, we can hear now. Or we can hear you, Mr. Moderator, at least.
Okay. Let's confirm with Decatur once again. Decatur, are you able to hear right now?
Yes,
Okay.
we can hear.
So before we start the next round for the rebuttal, if there's anyone in your location that has on a device using bandwidth, have everyone to turn that off. That will take away some of the consumption. That's on both team sides, and that'll make things flow a little bit better. With that being said, Alexander Fairfax, because of the debacle here in terms of the technology, is it okay? And are you in agreement to allowing Decatur to have a fresh start with their timing? I stopped my timer at 14 seconds.
No, Mr. Moderator, please reset the clock for Decatur.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you. Decatur, are you now ready to present? Is everything working properly for you?
Yes.
Okay. All right, you have a total of 5 minutes to present your rebuttal. Once again, Mr. Green, your time will start now.
Okay. The negative side of this argument will now present their rebuttal. Starting a career earlier might come at a sacrifice to their peers' mental strain, because as students receive millions of dollars, as y'all have stated, with Mikey Williams and the LaMelo Bonds and many others, if I were to receive millions of dollars, I know for a fact my peers would not be very happy. They would be jealous. They might have some envy. That is a fact. Humans are, at nature, always going to want everything. It's a greed. It's a natural emotion that everybody will feel. So this might come at the mental strain at some of their friends and even their family members. And then adding on to this point, as y'all said earlier, NCAA players are adults and they are in college. They have a financial responsibility, and high schools are not. So even if they were to have their family manage that money, the likelihood that they could manage all the money at once and know really what to do with it would not be very likely, and could result in injuring their career and possibly messing up many things in the future. There's also the topic of how education might come into play, because if a career is fully set up after the fact and they're receiving this money, right, like $5 million, that's enough to retire at a very young age if you're getting that money consistently based off of the information that y'all have presented. They don't really need to go to school. They don't really need to work on their education. And though it is law to go to high school, it isn't for college. So, these people, they'll go in for their couple of years in high school and then they'll just stop, and that'll be the end of their education. And that could affect them for years after the fact. It was stated that prohibiting NIL payments of the people playing in professional that had to do with sports went through decades, and this NIL payments have just started becoming an interesting topic for people to discuss. So while it is true that it could benefit people that do not have the money, it is not a requirement, as they have been going through fine and regular just as before. And finally, I would also like to add, there's not really enough substantial data left, because we've really just scratched the surface on this topic. And, it might change over time. It might become an unstable or even an inconclusive situation to pay students based on the NIL, because we have not received enough information. We've been doing this for a couple of years. LaMelo Ball that is pretty recent. Mikey Williams, that's pretty recent. There's not enough data. There's not a track record per se that would describe how this is going. It really just started. And with that, Decatur alumni would now like to yield the rest of their time.
Thanks for your presentation, Decatur. You yielded your time back at 3:35:67. You've yielded your time back at 3:35:67. We'll move into our last breakout groups. So to both teams, before we start our closing remarks, I will ask that both teams make sure that the bandwidth is sufficient for the final presentations for the judges. So once again, if you're in a room that has multiple devices using your Wi-Fi, turn those off, remove them from your Wi-Fi to make sure that the bandwidth and your presentation is at an optimal level. So yeah, with that being stated, 5 minutes for the breakout rooms. That time will start on me, and that time will start now.
We all know that building a better world begins with today's youth. It's a theme we've seen throughout all of our stories this month in creating Black history in San Antonio.
And it's a philosophy the local chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi believes in as well. As Devin Clark shows us, the fraternity has set out on a mission to invest in the future of young men.
I plan to get my doctorate in psychology and hopefully own my own practice in the future and write a book on the way there.
I want to go to college, probably military, but my main goal is to become a physical therapist and own my own firm by the time I'm 40.
These high school seniors have big goals, ambitions that didn't seem possible for Marlon Anderson until he joined the Guide-Right program.
Before Kappa League, I didn't know what to do when I got pulled over by a cop. I didn't know anything about that. You know, politics, like I wanted to do it, but I didn't know what was going on.
Anderson is the vice president of the Guide-Right program, or Kappa League. The San Antonio Alumni chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi adopted the mentoring initiative in 2013.
Getting out in the community, enriching young men's lives, and trying to enhance their lives to the point where they can go into college, be successful in their careers, and then hopefully return it back.
Community engagement is a big part of the program, and giving back is one of the lessons that's already stuck with Anderson.
As a kid, I wanted to be a politician. I wanted to do like great things for like the city because I'm a humble person. That's what I love to do because I was raised here.
The young men of Guide-Right range from elementary to high school. In addition to volunteer work, they participate in seminars, workshops, tutoring, college tours, and field trips.
We have a program called GPS, basically Get Your Priorities Straight, to basically show them what they can do in the world, how social life is not just in, just in their little community here, but how is it affecting national? How is it going to affect them in the state? How is it going to affect them locally?
Lots of the Guide-Right members have gone on to big-name schools and historically Black colleges and universities. Director of the San Antonio Alumni chapter, Sean C., says having that example and network can really help put these kids on the path to success.
A lot of the young men that we get in this program they're actually good students already. They just need a little bit more mentoring from a male figure.
That's one of the main reasons why my mom wanted me to join Kappa League, and I'm forever grateful for that because being around like other brothers, like other African American males, it's just helped me like open up a lot.
Show dedication that you have dreams for your future and that you want to achieve them. Even if you don't know what you want to be, that's why we're here to help you figure that out.
Devin Clark, KSAT 12 News.
This is the third year of creating Black history in San Antonio. Right now on our KSAT
Welcome back to the National Kappa League debate, the Centennial Edition. We're moving into our last round. This is the closing round. This is a championship round, if you will, for both sides. Today, we're debating with Alexandria Fairfax Alumni Chapter versus Decatur, Georgia Alumni Chapter. Decatur, Alexandria Fairfax, are you both back from your breakout rooms?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Moderator, we're back.
Thank you. We will start with the negative closing remarks. The negative team is Decatur Alumni Chapter. You will have a total of 3 minutes to present that time. Who will be presenting the closing remarks today for the Decatur Alumni Chapter?
John Green will.
We meet again, Mr. Green. All right, so you have a total of 3 minutes to present your case. Your time will start on me, and your time starts now.
This has been a great debate, and we would once again like to thank everyone for viewing and coming out and participating in this debate. The negative side will now present its closing argument on why high school athletes should not be paid based on their name and likeness. Money can encourage education, ableism, and are also main reasons as to why athletes do not into the opposing team's intentions of NIL regarding NIL students may gain options and new opportunities for their payments. The low economic value income houses may struggle, and the incentive of sports being killed off because of the lack of payment. I feel as though we have defended our points against them. And while gaining money from an NIL payment can open doors, it will incentivize the student to forsake the premium education they could receive during their few years at high school. We feel as though the opposing team has not necessarily presented enough evidence to prove their argument correct. Therefore, I feel the judges should choose our argument as correct. We will now yield the rest of our time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Green. You've yielded your time back at 1:27:26. You've yielded your time back at 1:27:26. We will now have our closing remarks from the affirmative team, which is Alexandria Fairfax Alumni Chapter, who will be presenting the closing remarks for the Alexandria Fairfax Alumni Chapter.
Mr. Moderator, Caleb Rucker will be presenting the closing argument for Alexandria Fairfax.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Rucker.
Good afternoon.
All right, Mr. Rucker, you have a total of 3 minutes to present your closing arguments. Your time will start on me, and your time starts now.
Good afternoon. I am Caleb Rucker. I am a sophomore at West Springfield High School in Springfield, Virginia, and I represent the Alexandria Fairfax Kappa League. We find little to argue with here. We are unable to speak intelligently to the jealousy of others. And quite frankly, my team and I are disappointed. We find it disappointing that we are having this discussion in this day and age. It's 2022, and we are making arguments for a human being to retain rights to use their image, to use their likeness, to use their name. To be fair, we're not talking about all human beings. We're talking specifically about student athletes. But why? What is it about an athlete that makes this discussion relevant? After all, chess is an extracurricular activity that has both amateur and professional ranks, and yet has no such program for its amateur players using their name to money. Esports, an industry which is valued at over $1 billion, has amateur and professional ranks, yet has no prohibition for its members earning money from their name, image, or likeness. What is the difference between traditional sports and these other extracurricular activities? The only appreciable difference that we were able to find is that people of color are vastly underrepresented in the professional worlds of chess and esports, while in two of the top earning professional sports in America, football and basketball, people of color are represented to the side of the majority. Simply put, we don't have the conversation of NIL compensation anywhere, but where people of color stand to make most of the gains. The irony of this discussion is that the NCAA has already allowed NIL profits. NCAA athletes are amateurs, just like high school athletes, and yet high school athletes stand to lose their eligibility to play at a level that already allows this. In closing, I will reiterate our points as to why we must get this decision right. If we don't get it right, we will see less traditional high school graduations and will likely see more high school dropouts. If we don't get this right, we will see the end of public high school sports. If we don't get it right, we will be inadvertent participants in upholding a rule which unfairly keeps young students from that which is inherently theirs, that is their name, their image, and their likeness. And with that, we would like to rest our case, but before we yield any remaining time, we would like to thank our moderator and our esteemed judges for volunteering their time. Mr. Moderator, we yield back the balance of our time.
Thank you for your closing remarks. You yielded your time back at 2:47:02. You've yielded your time back at 2:47:02. That completes debate number 4 for the National Kappa League debate rounds. The Centennial Edition. Let's give both teams a round of applause. Thank you both. Amazing job today. With the close of the actual debate, we're going to go through a variety of things here. We're going to give the judges an opportunity to tally their scores. We're going to also have some time for talking points from coaches, players, parents, etc. I will turn the floor and yield it back over to Brother Scott Johnson.
Thank you so much, Brother Crawford. Again, thank you to both teams. Great job by both teams participating today. Very good topic to be debating, especially during this time of what we're going through right now as far as sports is concerned. First thing I want to do is I want to open the floor and give an opportunity for some of our parents to speak about what they saw today or any remarks that they want to give to our young men before I get into the brothers in the fraternity. Any parents, any comments? Okay, so having heard nothing, first I want to start off. I believe I saw the senior vice poll mark of the Eastern Province, Brother Maddox was on. Brother Maddox, did I see you on?
Yes, Brother Johnson. How you doing?
All right. How are you today, sir?
Yes. To the chairman, Brother Johnson, judges, coaches, guy right chairs, parents of our young Kappa Leaguers, and to the poll mark of the respective Alexandria, Fairfax, Virginia Alumni Chapter, and the Decatur, Georgia Alumni Chapter. First, I want to congratulate and thank you for such an outstanding debate today to our young Kappa Leaguers. You have made all of us proud with your performance this afternoon. Your thought-provoking responses, research, and effort declares each of you a winner. So brothers and all, let's continue to provide our young men the opportunities to showcase their talents, their skills, and as always, provide them with the opportunity to be a representative for each of us, our young Black men, representing African American and the future of what we will become. So in the words of Samuel DeWitt Proctor, they live well who live for something that will outlast themselves. Once again, thank you, brothers. Thank you to each of the participants here. You all are winners. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Maddox, for those words. Are the poll marks of either chapter on today?
How you doing, Brother Johnson? I'm on.
Okay, how you doing, Brother Taylor?
Pretty good, pretty good. Good to see you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So first, I just want to thank all of the judges and Brother Todd for being on today and just want to congratulate all of the students. This is an excellent display of Black male excellence. I know that today's topic was related to sports, but just want you all to remember that your voice is also a sport. And what you did today is an exact display of how you can use your voice to not only influence, but also to make money. So I'm very proud of everybody that was here today. Have a special place in my heart for the Decatur Alumni Chapter. Me and the Pole Mark are good friends and colleagues. And so just very happy that we were able to have this competition today. I want to thank Brother Scott Johnson, and all of the committee for all the work that you've done to make this possible. So again, young men, win, lose, or draw, you did an excellent job today, and we look forward to seeing you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Taylor. Is Paul Mark from Decatur on? I thought I saw him too. Let's see. I don't see him now. Okay. At this time, I would like to hear from the coaches as well from both teams. Coaches from each team.
Mr. Moderator, if I may, I want to thank especially a lot of thanks to the team members on the Alexandria Fairfax team. Did a lot of research on this one. This one was it's a current event and it's unfolding even as we speak. So there's a lot going on with it. I definitely also want to thank our opponents with the Decatur Alumni Chapter. It was a windy road getting here, but we all got here, and I definitely appreciate the ability to be able to debate with the Decatur chapter here today, and to the organizers of this debate. This is a great thing. I think we should definitely keep it going throughout the national guide right initiatives.
All right, thank you, sir.
Brother Scott, how you doing today? And parents, hallmarks, family members, team members, good afternoon. It was a great Sunday for debate. And I just want to say, as always, and these young minds are just incredible. Every time I listen to them, it just gets better. So what we're doing here is very significant. And just to kind of echo what Brother Ted said, we're having conversations today, general conversations about this topic. So this topic was a very interesting topic. The research was out there for us to go grab and to make this competition interesting and valued. I'd like to say also, hey, thanks for Decatur Alumni Chapter Kappa League. Awesome job, young men. You did a great job. And looking forward to seeing you guys up there at the Centennial. Shake your hands on, physically. Other than that, Brother Scott, thank you to you and your staff to keep this thing running too.
All right, thank you, Brother Marshall. All right, okay. Coach from Decatur.
First of all, I want to thank everyone. Great debate. We had some exciting students. I want to thank the judges, and I want to especially thank Brother Crawford and Brother Johnson. Thank you very much for performing this outstanding debate. My coach couldn't be here, but his name is Jason Coulson, and he did an outstanding job with the amount of time he had. So I just want to thank him personally. A great job in helping us get this thing together. I want him to come and speak for the debate. These young men did an outstanding job for the participation. All right. Coach.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Good afternoon. Ladies, good afternoon to everyone here on behalf of Decatur, Georgia Alumni Chapter Kappa League. This has been a fantastic opportunity. Outside, for us, there is no losers here. Just being able to see all these young men, all this Black excellence here, and just show the world that at the end of the day, we have intelligent minds. We have minds that will continue to be cultivated, and that can speak on these topics that are here in today's society. So on behalf of everyone, we want to thank everyone for being here. And we just want to thank you all for having this opportunity for our young men to be cultivated and continue to learn. So again, on behalf of the K Georgia Alumni Kappa League, we say thank you to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. And while we have you on, Decatur, we'd love to hear from some of your Kappa Leaguers on what their experience was with this from their perspective.
Introduce yourself.
Good afternoon. My name is James, and the debate for me was a really good learning experience for basically just knowing this. So getting to know how everything works and how everything functions in these types of debates is very changing in my eyes. That's basically it for me. It's just a really big. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to learn. Happy to learn how the debate works. And yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir. Anybody else from Decatur debate team?
I could say a couple of things. So, I'm grateful to have this opportunity. I was pretty excited leading up to this. As the closer it got, I kind of started to be a little bit more disappointed because, it was only two people today. It was only me and Jaden. So as the deadline approached, we did lose a couple of our members. So that did affect me a little bit. But other than that, I think this was a very good experience for both me and him. And we have gained a lot, to say the least. And I feel like this was a stepping stone in a long journey.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Let's go over to Alexandria Fairfax so we can hear from some of their team members.
Good afternoon. My name is Caleb Rucker, and I'm the debate team captain. And I would just like to thank our friends and family who tuned in to watch. And I'd just like to thank our colleagues in the Decatur Kappa League and all of our Kappa Leaguers nationwide for tuning in and participating. And most importantly, we'd like to thank the men of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity and all those involved in making this tournament possible. I'd like to thank Mr. Erb and Mr. Ted and my colleagues, Samson, Eli, and Matthew, for being here.
Again, my name is Samson Boyd. I'd like to also thank our coaches, the men of Kappa Alpha Psi, my colleagues, and for everyone who tuned in, family and friends. And of course, you, Mr. Moderator, I'd like to thank you as well. But yeah.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Eli Boyd, member of the debate team. And making this argument is easy, and it can be kind of hectic at times. But our coaches, that our parents, that really help us out. So I really want to thank them, thank our parents, I thank colleagues for sticking by me, helping us out, putting this argument together, and thank the moderator and the judges for being here today. Thank you.
I'm Matthew. I'd like to thank the Decatur Kappa League and Mr. Herb and Mr. Ted for putting all the time into getting us prepared for this meeting today. I'd like to thank my colleagues for being willing to show up on this early Sunday and have a great debate with another great team of Kappa Leaguers.
All right. So as of now, we have 2 scorecards in from the judges. I'm going to turn this over to Brother Kendrick Crawford and check and make sure everything is good. Brother Crawford.
Thank you, Brother Scott. Thanks a lot. Yeah, great responses from everyone that participated today. So just a couple of things from a housekeeping standpoint. This is a national debate. We're doing this debate from a Final Four standpoint. So with that being said, we do have our Final Four teams in place. Those will be announced later on this week. The next round of debate will be on site. Luckily for the Kappa Leaguers, we have a lot of representation throughout this country at historically Black colleges and universities. So the next round of debate, the semifinals, if you will be at Claflin University on site. And then from there, we'll have our championship round. That championship round will be in St. Louis, Missouri, at Harris-Stowe State University and College. These are both prominent colleges that our young men will have an opportunity to go on site, tour, not just debate, but have the full experience of HBCUs and what they have to offer. We also heard earlier from a representative and a brother from Wiley College. So another great opportunity for us to all continue to experience HBCU history, culture at its best. I will make one final statement before we move on to more comments if needed. To both teams that have presented today, you have an opportunity to continue to achieve at the highest levels at these various HBCUs, colleges, and universities. Please take an opportunity to research what's out there from a debate standpoint. Debate saved my life. I was in a situation to where it was played various athletic sports, letter, and then I was introduced to debate, which also gave an opportunity to letter and receive my gold bars in high school, moving also to college. It teaches you respect for your opponents. It also teaches discipline, just like physical sports. Debate is a sport. Take the opportunity to see what scholarships are available as you continue to move forward to choose a college of your life and choice. With that being said, once again, I am the moderator for the National Kappa League Debate, the Centennial Edition. My name is Brother Kendrick Crawford. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you at the Centennial 100 Years of Excellence for the Guy Wright program in Kappa League. Our next round will be at Claflin University. Once again, Claflin University is in Orangeburg, South Carolina. With that being said, I have not seen the last scorecard, so let's move over. Let's try to get some more parents. So we didn't hear any parents at all. I want to hear at least one parent if possible, if we still have time before the last judge gives our final remarks. Any parents at all?
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
I can. Good afternoon.
Okay. Greetings. My name is Sabrina Boyd. I am the mother of Eli and Samson Boyd, very proud mother, I should say, and wife to Samuel Boyd Jr., who's a member of Alexandria Fairfax chapter. Thank you tremendously for this opportunity. I can't even describe how you all have broadened the horizons for our 2 boys, and I'm sure for the other young men, I shouldn't say boys, but young men who are there participating and taking time to prepare and be a part of this opportunity. I'm sure there were times when even they didn't want to participate. They'd rather be with their friends or something, but trust me, down the road, you will see the benefits of this and how it will enrich your life. I dare to say it's even enriching your lives now. You may not realize it in some ways, but I do appreciate this. And I just can't thank the men of Kappa Alpha Psi enough for coming up with this concept and then making it happen and just making it possible for them. You all are a tremendous asset to our community, to our race, and for all of these young men. They are forever indebted to your generosity and your wisdom. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you so much for those kind words to the young men, as well as the brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi. I do believe that all scores are in. Brother Scott, is that correct?
That is correct, Brother Crawford. But if you have any other parents who want to say anything before we announce who the winners are, I would defer to the parents.
Yes, this is Kevin Rucker. I'm the father of Caleb Rucker, from the Alexandria Fairfax alumni chapter. And I just want to say that I was really proud of the way that everything was presented. I just believe that the more that they begin to be able to consume information, be able to see the world in different ways, it is expanding their ability to think and engage the world. And I have to applaud you guys for the Guide Right program. I'm really happy that we as a family through Caleb are able to participate in this. And I think that this is just going to further their ability to present themselves to the world in the way that they choose on their terms and be able to do it in an excellent fashion. So I really thank you guys for this.
Thank you, sir. All right. So the moment that we've been waiting for, before we make the announcement, I want to personally thank Judge Stiles, Judge Felton, and Judge Lee, and our alternate judges today, who took time out of their schedules to judge these competitions of scholarly competition and debate. Again, we appreciate you all. We appreciate the time that you took out today of your schedules to be here with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Having said that, as we always say in our debates, it's great competition between both teams, but we have to always declare a winner. And today's winner, who will be moving forward to the next round of competition, will be Alexandria Fairfax Alumni Chapter. Congratulations to you. You all will be moving on to the next round. And having said that, that will conclude today's Sunday debates. And we hope you all enjoy the rest of your time this afternoon. And we appreciate each and every one of you for taking time out today to be with us and join us for our National Kappa League Debate Challenge, the Centennial Edition. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen.
Road trip.